lifting or outside of lifting. So
Mm.
overall, it doesn't have to be lifting related. What's your biggest dream in life?
My biggest dream in life is to be a great husband and a great father. That's been just my heart's calling since I was a wee lad, since I was a child, since I was 5. All I could remember is just wanting to be a like a great husband and a great father and just a great man. Like I want to be someone that my family can be proud of. I want to be someone that my acquaintances and my friends and my coworkers can be proud of. That's really all I want. But I mean, I have other goals that I want to do. Obviously, like we're talking about powerlifting, so just to be historically great. I know that with the way that everything is developing, there's probably going to be someone coming up, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it's one of my brothers, like my baby brother. He's turning 16 or 17 this September. I don't remember, but he's already like 6'2", 320 pounds, and he's as strong as a bull. Like I knew he was gonna be a freak when he was like 9 because I would wrestle with him, and in the back of my head, I'm like, why the hell do I have to try so hard? Like, why do I have to try so hard to subdue a 9-year-old? Um, so that's really all. I want my greatest goals in life is to be a great man. That's really what I think life is about. That's what I want to do. I want to make God happy. I want to make my mama happy. When it's my mom's time, I want her to know that she's not gonna have to worry about me or my family. So that's really where my mind is at.
Something that tied into that, someone asked, do you think your brother can surpass you? So that's kind of funny. I don't even think they were talking about that brother, but I know you have a couple.
Yeah, they're probably talking about Pablo. I would. So obviously, there's a really large gap between us at the moment, but I think that's only reflective because we didn't go to the same junior highs. And when I was in off season, he was like playing basketball. So from the ages of 12 to 14, I was already like developing my body and my musculature while he wasn't. So in my eyes, it's not that he's not going to beat me. It's just he's 2 years behind. That's really all it is. I think he's like just literally the time that I had to put before him is just the gap. So it's not really like a numbers gap, it's a time gap. So my brother is one of the most fiercest competitors. Like a nickname that we have for him is Passionate Pops. This guy has so much fight, and he just is so inspirational to me because I've obviously coached him. I've been coaching him now for like 2 years. I've seen him grind out a 500-pound squat, and just to watch him hit 800 pounds on a good day and do 700 pounds for reps, it's like, and I'm always gonna remember him from when he first started, and to see him now. So it's like it's not a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when. I think when my progress starts to slow down, I think he's gonna continue to progress and flourish. So hopefully one day, I think like I'm literally coaching him to beat me. The minute he beats me is the day I'm just gonna give him the torch. I'm gonna be like, bro, like wherever you want to go after this, like this is your show. Like this is what you want to do. Like everything that he's earned up until this point, like he worked his ass off. Like I could literally not talk enough about Pablo because he's just such a hard worker. Like this guy is the hardest worker in every single room that he'll ever be in. And if there's somebody that works harder than him, he's gonna find some way, somehow, to just do a little bit more. And that is really who Pablo is at the core of his being. Like he is somebody who's obviously like he's not like in the top 5 right now, but his work ethic is very inhumane. Like it's weird because when I'm like having issues with my work ethic, and I think obviously I have a pretty good work ethic, but Pablo's is just on a different level. Like Pablo, like man, like I just wish he was here so he could like kind of chime in a little bit. But this guy is a workhorse. And obviously he is my brother. He is my blood. He can do everything that I'm doing. And I just think it's going to be a matter of time. It's just as long as we stay healthy, as long as everything else outside of the gym is in order and he sticks with it, I just think it's a matter of when. Like, that's really what it is. Like, his time is going to come. His time is not far from now. And it is something that I'm looking very forward to because nothing would make me happier than to see my brother beat me. Like, nothing. Like, like I cannot explain to you just the thought of being able to see him surpass me like that. That's like another dream. You know, I want to see Pablo surpass me. And if we're like competing against each other and like it comes down to like our last deadlifts, I'm gonna tell him like, bro, I'm gonna try to beat you, but I want you to try to beat me too. And you know, like I just think that moment's gonna be beautiful where it's gonna be like his show, his time. Obviously it's my time right now, but all good things must come to an end. Like I'm very well aware that the position that I'm in, it's not gonna last forever. Somebody else is gonna come up one day. You know, it might be next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But I do understand like the position that I'm in, it's very finite. It's not gonna last forever, you know, and that's really just how things work. It's like an exchange of the torch. You know, it was Ray before me, and like now it's me. So I'm just counting my days while I'm still here because there will be a day where it'll be Pablo's show, and that day is just gonna be an amazing day to celebrate.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's really cool to hear. I love that you're like rooting for him. You know, it's just, and that's definitely, you guys have the work ethic, you have the genetics, it all comes together, obviously. So pretty cool. Now, this guy, interesting comment, guy said you're a local hero in San Antonio. So that's pretty nice.
Oh, nice.
Another question here. Do you ever fear like burnout in the sport?
That's a really good question. So the only time I guess you could say that that thought has gone through my head was after my most recent performance, and I kind of elaborate a little bit just because I was like, oh man, like how much more could I possibly give? Like how much better could I get from here? Excuse me. But it really came down to like what the hell? Like this is not who I am. Like this is very uncharacteristic of me. But burnout is a very, very real thing. It could happen with anything. You could experience burnout in a relationship. You can experience burnout in your hobby, in your passion, at your work. Uh, so it's all about setting boundaries. And that's why for me, I see it as a boundary to only be in the gym 4 days a week. I see it as a boundary to turn on my Xbox for a couple hours, you know, like once or twice a week. I see it as a boundary when I'm watching TV with my girlfriend. I see it as a boundary when like I give myself time to breathe because and there needs to be balance. And I feel like people who get burnt out super fast are people who do not have any balance in their life. Like you don't necessarily have to have all your eggs in a basket, but you have to try to maintain some sort of balance because if you just dive like head first into the water and you don't have any other plans, like sooner or later, like you're gonna have to come up for air. So it's very important. Like when you're swimming, it's like when you're swimming, it's like you gotta stay underwater, but when you need to, you come up for air and then you get back under. So it's really just like that. It's like maintaining that baseline where you're like going, 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 going. Then you like take a break, you breathe, relax, enjoy life, smell the roses, and then you get back to work. And those are the people who are really able to maintain long careers. Those are the people who are able to do what they do for an extended amount of time. Because I think it's always harder to win like your second championship or your third championship or your fourth championship or your same. It's like what, like, how do I say this? Like, what is, once you've accomplished what you've wanted to, like, what is your reasoning to do it again? And that's like an intangible that a lot of people don't really get to see because they're just so fixated on the now and the present that they don't think about the why and the what and the how. So burnout. I mean, I don't think it was like burnout when I was contemplating like all these like what's next type questions. But I mean there are days where like I don't want to go to the gym. Like I don't. I think everyone has those days. Like there's days where I get in a fight with my girlfriend, or I get in a fight with my brother, or I get some bad news about my mom, and I just don't want to go to the gym. I don't. Like I didn't really tell a lot of people this, but I've like recently started to talk about it. I almost pulled out of 2021 Raw Nationals because I thought my mom was going to die. I almost pulled out because I did not want to be in Daytona, and just the thought of something bad happening the week of, it was like haunting me. It was traumatizing. It was over my head, and I just knew that if I was in Daytona instead of being back home, like if something happened and the worst came to happen, I would not be able to be there in her last moments or shoot. Like I'd probably get there like the day before the funeral or something like that. So, but it just kind of ties back to like who I am. Like something that kept me going was when we were little, after my parents got divorced, my mom would always tell me, she's like, son, like she literally told us, she was like, from this day on, like this was like a couple of weeks after they got divorced, she was like, I'm not ever going to wash your guys' clothes again. Like you guys need to start learning how to do little things on your own. So when I'm not here, like you guys are okay. And that's just something that like run through my head like those last 4 weeks of training, because my mom told me, like we've had conversations where she's like, I thank God every day that you were able to find something that you love to do, to support yourself, to support the people around you. Because up until powerlifting, Pete, like I was a college dropout, I was a bum, I was a nobody. I was jumping from job to job. I had no sense of direction. I was just some kid that was like lost in the wind. So to kind of find something to keep me grounded, to find something that I really love, that I feel really blessed to get the chance to do, and just have the people around me, the people that I've met, it's, I mean, I really can't say anything more than that. But man, like burnout, I feel like that's not the question to answer. But burnout, just it does tend to happen. I feel like burnout can come in like little phases, like little times, and it's like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. But that's really where discipline comes in, because I promise you, like, and I think Michael Phelps talks about it, like Michael Jordan, like every great talks about it, and it's like burnout is inevitable. Like you're gonna go through seasons where you're gonna feel unmotivated, undisciplined, but that's the difference. It's like discipline doesn't require motivation. It doesn't require inspiration. It doesn't require any type of subjective feeling. Discipline is obsolete. Like you have to make it up in your mind that no matter what the hell you're going through, you have a job to do. And that's something that I feel a lot of people do not understand these days. Like they don't understand, like life is life. Life is not fair. Life will come at you from any direction at any point in time. You could be sleeping and life will come at you. And there's no guarantee. And that's what I like to, and that's what kind of ties back to, I have, the only thing I really have confidence is the work I've put in before competition, because I don't have confidence in my, I mean, okay, I do have confidence in my mindset, and I have confidence in my